issue.
Collection and subsequent billing is done by the billing contractor. However, I would note that all of the turnovers in cash, in this case, the checks do get submitted through the collector's office. That's a legal requirement, and that practice would not change, so that the fees do in fact find their way into the town books in that manner.
How does the question, how does the tax collector know that there's an outstanding invoice?
She wouldn't have knowledge of that unless she received the reconciliation from the billing contractor when the bills came in.
But isn't that a problem that needs to be addressed?
I wouldn't necessarily call it a problem.
Well, it's like, you know, a bunch of invoices or billing requests go to the billing contractor, and the town side doesn't know anything about it.
No, they forward monthly activity reports to us that show the status of each and every claim.
Okay, so she does get a copy of the status of claims.
It's a monthly status report
Okay.
that we receive to document any and all activities.
Okay.
Excuse me, just in line with that, you look at what came from the chief and fellas. I mean, there's a large balance carried forward. It's growing
Yeah.
a little bit. And again, part of that is the abatements and the charge-offs that we should be taking, so that it should be as close to real money as to what can be collected, rather than what we're seeing in front of us, which hopefully we're going to get to a point where we're going to clear it up. Is that part of your goal to have a substantial outstanding ending balance here?
Right.
You look at the beginning balance from July 1st of '01, it's $168,000, which hasn't diminished at all. In other words, that's
right.
Because it wasn't taken off the books.
It's not taken off the books, and it's actually grown. And then you'd have maybe the 20%, 80% collection rate in 1 year, and then you'd have a collection rate which is up in excess of 90-some-odd%. And then another 20%, 80% collection rate, and then again, a very high collection rate. So
Are we talking about this now? Or
well, I'm just saying, just in line with what I'm saying, is our collector really in a position to clear up the books and have a true, I don't know if the policy needs to address that other than.
Well, you know, I guess what I was getting at is, the fire chief issues, through the chief's office, a bill is issued, it goes to the billing agent. So there's some chit or document that goes to the billing agent, creates a bill, goes to the person who received the services, or insurance company, whatever. And I was just wondering whether at that time there shouldn't be something that goes over to the collector's office saying, you know, there's an outstanding something. And it gets cleared with, you know, the receipts as they come in.
Simultaneous billing.
I'm not trying to make extra work, I'm just trying to close the loop so things don't fall in.
They must get coordinated somehow, as Bob's suggesting. How do they get coordinated? There's three different parties. There's the fire chief, there's the treasurer, right?
Right.
And then there's the collection agency. They must get reconciled somehow, because otherwise the bill collector would not get their 5%.
Absolutely.
Unless somebody reconciles. Who reconciles?
It's done right now through the finance department and the billing company. They reconcile
Together.
the statements.
Does the chief is never involved once the chief issues the bills?
The billing department?
Yeah.
No.
They issue
No, the tax collector is not involved, not presently involved in that process.
So it sounds as though the collection agency is reporting to us what's been billed and collected?
Billed and collected. And what they
Rather than the fire chief reporting to the collector what's been sent to the collection agency. I don't know if the reconciliation is right.
No, it sounds like, yeah, it sounds like there's a missing link in there.
Right.
In other words, if I generate the document, there ought to be some way to know that my, you know, that what I generated loops back to me, so I know what's been collected, what hasn't been collected, and I know that what I have indicated should be billed has been billed.
The good thing is that all the cash comes through the town hall, rather than through the collection.
Yeah.
That's the good
Yeah.
thing.
And the
So
collection
eventually it gets
agency
reconciled.
gets paid
It sounds like it's late.
the billing agent gets paid from us based
Right.
on
Activity,
activity.
collections,
Collections.
ability to collect.
Yeah, it appears as though, based on what you've said, that the collection agency is telling the collector what they billed for, which has come from the fire department.
See, this is where I think there's a little bit of a problem.
Disconnect.
And that is, and maybe there's enough of a time lag. The billing agent sends out a bill. Check comes into the town. The town collector may not know that what that
They actually
receipt
billed.
is for, right? Because she hasn't received a report from the,
I think there's
Billing.
always enough of a lag, and that's not really an issue. There's always a lag.
it just seems, I don't know, it would seem to me that the proper approach would be that the paperwork that leaves here, that goes to the billing agent, a copy goes to the collector. The collector now has on record the fact that there's a bill. And when payment comes in, she can tie it back to that billing.
Check it out.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take that, I'll certainly, it's a good suggestion. If I could just continue, if you don't mind, on subsection E, ambulance rate schedule shall be reviewed annually as recommended by the fire chief. And that's the town bylaws specify that the rate schedule will be reviewed time to time. So we're committing to do it annually. But I think that the month of September, if you'd like to keep it, that's fine. We just want to be able to provide some flexibility.
Mr. Vino?
Yes, thank you, Bob. Yeah, I think personally I'd be more comfortable if we left what's there and added that in, or as recommended by the fire chief. Give us both options to,
In other words, we're gonna review it
in September.
in
If the chief
September,
thinks we should
or
look at
as
it
recommended.
look at
before,
it sooner than.
yeah, sooner, say something changes 6 months later, and maybe we should be looking at it, you know, give both you and the fire chief the option. That's my recommendation.
Sounds good. Subsection F, the rate schedule for ambulance service should be designated to recover costs exclusive of labor to the extent possible. The town's rate schedule will generally reflect charges for ambulance service by other communities in the region. So that's new language that we inserted at the end.
Mr. Chairman, on that is that what should be driving it, or should it be what the insurance industry is paying? You know what I mean? For the most part, I mean, we collect a little bit from people as far as deductibles or co-pays or something, but for the vast majority of what we collect is basically through insurance. And that, all the proposals that I've ever heard come before the board when we review these rates is based upon what current insurance company rates are, Medicaid, Medicare. You know, that's what's driving what we can charge and what we can expect to collect. We've never established the rates on a basis of competing with other towns or what we're doing. It's basically been driven by the industry and what the reimbursement rates are. So I don't know if that's
I think
a
you're, I
reflection
think
of
you're
what
right
we,
on there.
you know, as far as what, it's not really a true reflection of it as to what we've been doing and how we really base our rates. So I think what it should probably reflect, if we're gonna get that detail, is, you know, what the market rates for reimbursements by appropriate insurance and federal and state programs reimburse for. That's how we've always established it. And at times we've been below it, you know, so we brought it up. But I don't think we really ever, on occasion we've compared with what other towns have done, but
Well,
those were always in
To some-
relation to what the industry was gonna pay.
to some degree, all of the communities need to be kind of focused on what the going rates are. So in a particular region, I guess it all comes out in the wash eventually.
I suppose, but it's just that's really not what we're doing.
I mean, would you like to add at the end, in addition to that language, and insurance reimbursement rates? No.
That's it, no?
Tell me what you want.
No, I mean, you know, I think that,
Just because Wilmington's.
I think that
charging
being more specific, being more verbiage just makes it more confusing as to what we're really doing. And I think that, we set the rates, actually, the sentence that's in there is fine. I don't know that the new sentence, it really adds that much to it at all. But I'm okay with saying the region, because theoretically, the region takes into consideration what the region will bear, what the, market will bear, which is what? The market is insurance. So I think it's like, consistent either way. So I just wouldn't add any more verbiage to it.
Well, I would look at it then and make it even real simple. The rate schedule for ambulance service should be designated to recover costs to the extent possible. Take out
Right.
exclusive of labor too.
Because that suggests we do a cost, you're right.
In the extent
Suggests we do a
possible
cost
is what's the
analysis, which
going,
we're not doing.
what are the going rates and,
Yeah, we'll get the analysis from the department, the town administrator, as to what's being charged around the area and what's being reimbursed by Medicare, Medicaid, insurance companies. And that's what we base our decisions on and have in the past. So again, I agree, if we can simplify the policy rather than be so specific as to what we're going to tie it to.
And what was your suggestion again, Bob?
just take the exclusive of labor out of there.
Yeah, I agree. I agree as well. I think that's,
Okay. And then
makes it,
I don't have it in front of you, but it's, what about comparison, sorry, what about comparison with the communities and stuff like that, in or out?
Well, I mean, to the extent possible.
Oh,
right.
It's
Right,
gonna
right,
reflect,
right.
you're gonna go and look at the market.
Right, I'm agreeing with you, so. Okay, so that's out?
Out.
Okay.
It's the
G,
next section.
G makes reference to exception, section 8.
What's that?
We didn't know, we couldn't find it.
Yeah, find section
We
8.
couldn't find section 8.
Section 8 of the service was.
Yeah, I was gonna-
right?
We couldn't find it because, keep in mind, it was adopted a number of years ago, almost 25 years ago. So along the way, section 8 no longer exists, so we didn't feel it was appropriate to keep that language in there.
Okay.
Paragraph H has just simply been revised that, to take into account insurance for workers' compensation. Because obviously if you have an employee that's been injured, one or both may end up paying.
That's fine.
And then the other paragraph that was numbered here that we made some changes to was the last paragraph. And that originally, for whatever reason in the policy, was misnumbered, but it says that the administrator is authorized to use appropriate means necessary to aggressively seek to collect outstanding ambulance bills, and may recommend the billing contractor undertake additional appropriate collection practices. So we've put that language in there that does provide for a degree of flexibility based upon direction that the board sets in terms of how we deal with what we term delinquent bills.
question on that.
Mr. Beamer.
Greg, does that mean we would be losing the option to go through small claims court?
No, we just don't want to limit ourselves if that's the only option that we want. We
Okay,
want
then would
to
you leave
say
that
that
in?
it's in there, it's in the other means that the town has available to it.
Additional project practices.
Right, that would include that.
Mr. Chairman, just the language in relation to aggressive.
Contractor can't take it to small claims court. Am I correct though, Greg, the way I read it? The contractor would be taken to the small claims court and they can't do that, right? It has to be,
It has to be authorized by the administrator.
oh, you can authorize
I can-
them
I'm-
to take them to small claims court?
I'm the only one that can authorize that to take place.
Okay, I just want to be sure we don't lose that option, that's all.
No, that option has to be in-house. We can't delegate that response. I mean, we can direct the contractor to take those actions, but he's not gonna take those actions without a specific direction from the administrator, Joe.
Oh, okay, so the
Yes, yes.
contractor can take them to small claims court on our behalf then?
Correct, based upon
Oh, all
specific
right.
direction from us.
Oh, I thought we had to do that.
No, we can designated our contractor to do that.